Insecure, Season 3, Episode 8. This was an amazing finale to what was an amazing season of Insecure. And I mean, not amazing because I liked it, or not amazing because it was good, but amazing because you can see the progression of the show from Season 1 to Season 2 to Season 3. I have one major complaint, however. My one major complaint is that this show has to be longer. It has to be longer. It is a grave injustice that this show is not longer than 8 fucking episodes and 30 goddamn minutes. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what, the behind the scenes working. I don't know how these sorts of things work. But Insecure has to be one of the most popular shows on HBO. It has to be. Right up there with anything they have. And like I said, I don't know all the behind the scenes and shit. And I don't know the inner workings. But I believe it's a grave injustice. Not because I want more entertainment. And not because I like the show and I like to see more. But there are very interesting characters and very interesting positions on this show that deserve more character exploration. And I'm going to point some of that out here on tonight while I do this review. But there's characters and situations on this show that need a full exploration. And we could have got that exploration had this show been either a few episodes longer or a few minutes longer per episode. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Let's just get right into this. So we open up this episode with Issa working on her block party, her entrepreneurship, and she's going around and she's asking for help. She's asking people, can you help me out? Asking a lot of black businesses, and they really wasn't fucking with her. They got too much going on. They really wasn't excited about the idea of a block party and helping her out with her block party. So that forces Issa to kind of say, hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to do this. Yeah, these short episodes and seasons have me in my feelings. Yeah, it's ridiculous. These seasons are entirely too short, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Considering some of the other shit that's on HBO, hour long about some bullshit, and you telling me one of the best slice of life shows, when we're talking about an African American slice of life show, is only 30 minutes and 8 fucking episodes? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a travesty. It really is. But I digress. So it's a lot of interesting moments here. I found something interesting about this conversation here. Molly made a point to say that she's not Issa's man, which I find that interesting because even though they support each other emotionally and in a bunch of other different ways, Molly makes a statement that, girl, I'm not your man. So it creates space for Issa dating different people and going out with different people because she's not leaning on her homegirl as if that's her man. I say that's interesting because I've seen that play out in real life where women will start leaning on their homegirls as if the homegirl is their man. So I just found that line to be interesting on tonight's episode. We get some time with Lawrence and his father having a conversation. He's, talking to his father, kind of catching up on life. Talking about how him and his mom met, and his dad saying that relationships will be hard, and you have your ups and downs. And I think that was good advice from his father at this time, because it's kind of setting up the context in which Issa and Lawrence can get back together and get back on the right track. So we get this moment here where Molly is named the lead of a big project at work, and she's so happy about it, while her coworkers are kind of like, they're not really fucking with her. Maybe she's a little too ambitious. And I'll talk about this later in this review, but I understand Molly's dichotomy as far as being an aggressive woman in the workplace while at this and not wanting to settle and be saddled, but at the same time, her kind of losing her character to do so, or her kind of being out of character in doing so. I'll touch on that a little bit later. So Issa says, fuck it, I'm about to start looking for a job. I'm about to start kind of getting a steady job, kind of start doing that again. Fuck this block party shit. And then Nathan shows back up. Now, Nathan shows back up, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. Do y'all want to talk about this now? Y'all know I'll start at the end. Y'all know how I get down. We ain't got to go line for line. We can start at the end. Do y'all want to talk about this now, or do y'all want to walk to it? Let me know right now. Do y'all want to break this shit down right now, or should we walk to it and talk about it in its proper context? Let me know, because I don't give a fuck either way. So, but Nathan bumps into, you know, he comes back and he wants to speak with Molly. I mean, he wants to speak with Issa rather. And Molly's there. Molly's like, you know, basically kick rocks. You know, you disappear for a month. You showing up with flowers and shit. You know, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So she's making an attempt to protect Issa. And Issa's going to talk about this later. But she's making an attempt to protect her from a dude who left her and essentially left her for no reason. And we'll talk about it later. Let's just walk through. Let's take our time. Let's take our time. Let's be pragmatic. We'll be pragmatic. So Molly surprises Issa with a birthday party at an outdoor event in which everybody's talking and chopping it up about a movie that they're going to play, The Last Dragon. So it's kind of this outdoor thing at a funeral. Excuse me, not a funeral, but a graveyard. It was pretty cool. So here goes some of the highlights of tonight's episode. Kelly once again was a highlight of this episode. What's up, Butch? What's up, Can? Kelly was once again a highlight of this episode. Once again, she's knocking everything she's given out the park. She had a line on tonight that had me on the floor. When she said, I fucked that nigga. I fucked that nigga too. She said, the ghost of all the niggas I fucked is in this graveyard. Oh my God, I died. What's up, Darian? I died when I heard that shit. I fucking died. She was excellent on tonight, as usual. And this is what I mean. Kelly does make the show. And this is what I mean by character exploration. Now, Kelly also talked about her kind of patching things up with Tiffany. How Tiffany named her the godmother and they kind of patched these things up. Let's see that. See, this is why the show needs to be longer. I'm not just saying it needs to be longer to be longer. Kelly and Tiffany kind of fell apart with each other on camera. So if the show is longer, we can see them come back together on camera. See them resolve their issues on camera. The two great actors, the situation has been set up perfectly. Let's show them have that conversation in which Tiffany decides to make her the grandmother, or not the grandmother, excuse me, the godmother. This is the type of shit we're not getting because the show is only 30 minutes and 8 episodes. These are the types of scenes and moments that this show could deliver, but they're not delivering on because they do not have the time. And like I said, Kelly was brilliant on tonight, as usual. I appreciate Guru for real class A effort. No problem, Butch. You know how I do. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Let's keep hitting it. So, like I said, Kelly, she's got me on the floor laughing. I mean, nonstop with her tonight. Lawrence ass pulls up, looking goofy, and it's a bombshell. We had a big twist in tonight's episode too. Shout out to Regina King who directed this episode. There was a beautiful twist, and it was placed beautifully. I did not see the twist in tonight's episode coming, but when that twist came, I started grabbing my chest. I thought I was gonna die. I really did. I can't remember what I said. I can't remember what I said specifically, but I was shocked. So we get this moment here in which Chad is saying, you know, him and his girl have hooked back up. I saw it coming. You saw it coming, GG. I didn't see it coming. He do look goofy. He is a little bit goofy, but Issa's goofy. GG, you seen it coming for real? I didn't see that shit coming. I did not see that coming. I fell out my damn chair. I really did. But let me talk about this, because this ties into what I said moments ago. That you got Chad here talking about how he hooked back up with his wife and how they're patching things up. And these are moments that we could have seen on camera. This is the evidence of a show being too short. This is what we're missing. This is what we're missing. We're missing Chad talk to his wife after he found God and after he gave himself to God. Okay, how much of that was played for laughs, and how much did Chad really mean that shit? How much has he reformed based on his newfound religion? Allow us to see him talk to his wife and see that change, if that change exists or not. See, these are scenes, the Kelly scene, the scene with Chad talking back to his wife, like I said, the Kelly and Tiffany scene. These are the things we're missing by this show not being long enough. And, you know, it's just, come on. Come on. So I want to be very specific, because I'm not saying it should be longer just because I like it. I'm being specific as far as why it should be longer. So we get this great shot here of The Last Dragon playing at a theater, and you gotta love stuff like this. You really do. Great scene here. The gay dude from season 1, I thought he was gay too. So the gay dude from season 1 pops up. Molly sees the gay dude, and homeboy walks over, and I'm like, oh, I knew his ass was gay. I said I knew he was a gay motherfucker. Is it HBO? Yes, HBO. I said I knew he was a little gay motherfucker. But, you know, come to find out, he isn't gay. But we'll talk about that in a second. Issa and Lawrence kind of have a sit-down talk as they watch one of their favorite movies. It appears that these two have watched this movie together before, and they both enjoy it. And this is my favorite thing about season 3 of Insecure. I complained about this for 2 seasons. I complained about 2 things about this show. I said Issa has no fucking direction as a character. She doesn't want anything. She doesn't desire to do anything. So that actually hurts the show, because everything that's happening around her seems chaotic, because she doesn't actually want for anything specifically. That was my first complaint. My second complaint, which is in conjunction with the first complaint, was that Lawrence and Issa never had a good relationship. So as soon as we meet Lawrence and Issa, she's already cheating on him, and their relationship is going down the tubes. So we're already seeing this tumultuous end of the relationship. We're seeing this relationship essentially go down the drain. And this season, we got a lot of time with Issa and Lawrence showing why they're good for each other, the type of chemistry they have with one another, why they make each other happy, why they make each other smile. And we haven't gotten that in the first 2 seasons whatsoever. And we finally got that. So now you can root for them getting back together potentially, because we finally see why they should be together. So like I said moments ago, turns out the gay dude wasn't gay. He got him a nice piece of chocolate all up in Molly's face. And this is when I realized Molly is taking a ton of fucking L's. She's taking mad L's. She's taking so many L's, it's fucking ridiculous. So we meet who organized this entire event, and Issa was inspired by the woman who organized this event. Excuse me, I forget her name right now, but she's inspired by her, that she organized the event. And Issa's saying like, hey, you know, maybe if she can do it, I can do it too. Oh, it's a lot she can do. But anyway, it's a whole lot she can do that you can do too. She gonna do some shit that you didn't already did. Oh no, this season 4 gonna be good with this. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see how this break out. Cause she gonna inspire you to do some shit, but we gonna see. But Issa's inspired, and she picks back up the idea of throwing the block party and opening up her block party business. Great scene on tonight, you guys. This was, oh my god, this was so fucking good. Where do I start with this scene? Issa and Molly are talking and having a conversation just about life, and Molly reveals that, hey, Nathan came by, but I kept him from coming over. Essentially what Molly was saying. And Issa's like, why the fuck would you do that? Why in the world would you do that? And Molly's all like, I'm trying to help you and all this type of stuff. And if I'm right, I'm right. And Issa's just like, you've been on some real negative shit lately. You on some negative bullshit, and you're bringing all of your baggage into my shit. She said, why don't you think I can handle this? Why didn't you just let him talk to me? I'm a big girl. I can handle this shit. But Molly said, you had me over his house looking crazy. So it was a great conversation between these two. I mean, the dialogue in this scene and some of the Molly and Issa scenes when they're talking with one another, great stuff. And this was another great scene. I absolutely loved it. There was another piece of dialogue that Molly said when Issa said, just like the dude at your job, you didn't give him a chance. And this is what I was alluding to earlier. She said, the dude at your job, you didn't even give dude a chance. I'd like the show. I think you were skeptical before this season. I was very skeptical, Brad. I told you guys. Not only was I skeptical of this show, I didn't fucking really like it. Because it didn't have a really a clear objective. It wasn't clear to me. It took some soul searching to figure out this show. And I might talk about that a little more later, but there's a reason I didn't like this show. But the conversation that Issa and Molly had, and Molly said something to the effect of, I gotta be hard. I gotta be stern about my workplace, and if I gotta be a little cutthroat at the job. And then Issa asked her, do you have to be cutthroat? Do you have to be like that? Because girl, that's not you. That's never been you. That was a very important line. Very, very important line. Because as a woman, you have to deal with sexism, and being a black woman, you will deal with racism and sexism. So you may believe it's better to be cutthroat, to be like a man, or to be outside of your character to get things done, which is acceptable, which is understandable. But by Issa telling her, that ain't you, that ain't never been you. And Issa being one of her closest friends, she can let Molly know that you out of pocket right now. So you want to be successful, but you're going to be successful in changing your character. That's not how you really want to be. That was a very important exchange between these two. But I'll move on. I'll move on. Don't worry about that. So Molly comes to work, hollers at your boy, and they really not fucking with her right now. They kind of really kicked her to the curb. They told her to basically, you on your own, since you want to be the fucking the man around here, quote unquote. You basically on your own right now. And they kind of clicking up, and they done kind of kicked her out the circle, a circle she was never really in to begin with. So here go the bombshell shit on tonight's twist. Issa and this, I don't know her name, but Issa and your girl is hanging out, having all kind of coffees and teas and trinkets and tea and crumpet, and they having so much fun relating to one another, catching up with one another. And before you know it, they're friends. They're friends, and girl, I see you later, and girl, I see you later. Oh yeah, y'all gonna see a whole lot of each other. Oh, I fucking love it. Shout out to Regina King. Oh, I fucking love it. Real quick, I want to touch on this. This is when Molly called the Asian guy, and Molly kind of called him, kind of apologizing, saying she's sorry, kind of finally fessing up for her actions. This is what I thought she was going to do last episode or 2 episodes ago. I thought she was going to kind of have a moment of reflection in regards to the Asian dude. She didn't have it. She didn't have it then, but she called him and had it on tonight's episode. I'm glad she had it, but again, this is another instance in which I wish this show was longer, because the conversation between these two could go on for 5, 6, 7 minutes. You could really dedicate 6, 7 good minutes to these two talking to one another, and the Asian dude really digging into what's really going on with Molly, and Molly truly and fully acknowledging what's going on with her right now. Instead of a few lines and, oh, I think my last relationship was a little too much. No, we could have had an in-depth conversation about what has been going on with Molly and how she thinks and feels about her current circumstances and where she wants to go. We could have spent a lot of good time with this. And just considering that the show isn't long enough, we really couldn't dive into that. And that's my biggest problem. Like I said earlier, it's a travesty. It really is. It's a travesty this show isn't longer. And I'm giving clear examples in which this show could be longer and why and what we're missing by this show not being longer. So we get into tonight's twist. Old girl tells Molly, hey, I got a date. I got a date tonight. And she said, oh, girl, get it. Oh, yeah. Her date is fucking Lawrence, Issa's ex. So she got a date with Lawrence. Lawrence got a date with her. And when I seen this scene here, I did literally fall out my fucking chair. I literally hit the floor. I rolled smooth off my couch and I hit the fucking floor because I couldn't believe it. I didn't see it coming. I wonder if it's HBO or the showrunners. I don't know, Brad. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's ridiculous. Who wants to keep it at 30? I don't know, but it's ridiculous. It's got to be some contract type of, I don't know what the fuck, but it's ridiculous. We're missing, this is the best slice of life African-American show out right now. It's I told you guys that Issa is the most accurate depiction of a modern day African-American woman. The situations and storylines are this show are the closest to what's going on. It's a travesty that it's only 30 minutes. He looks like he's into her too. As soon as she said he had a date, I knew it was Lawrence. I didn't even really catch that. See, when she said she had a date, I didn't really catch. So I'm like, okay, people just go on dates. I didn't think for one fucking second that it'll be Lawrence. This completely caught me off guard. Like I said, I fell out my fucking couch. I really did. I feel I hit the fucking floor. I hit the fucking floor. This snuck all the way up on me. Shout out to Regina King. That shit snuck all the way up on me. I said, what? Oh, the drama. I love the music they have on here too. I'm going to touch on that in a second, Smiley. So here we go. Here's tonight's, big conversation. And here's the season. The season really climaxes on this scene. The season sort of climaxes here. The entire season hinges on this scene. And we get Nathan's ass finally having a conversation with Issa about where he was. And he's all like, I don't know. Sometimes I get, I can't talk to people. I be depressed and shit. And I want to say some first. Shout out to this actor. Because the entire season I've been ragging on him and Issa's chemistry on screen together. Because I never, not only did I not like their chemistry as a couple, I didn't like the chemistry and how they bounced lines off one another. I really didn't. I really did not like how they interacted with one another. It just was off. It was awkward. But they say so many new shows out. Yeah. So, but I can see why, because this scene was perfect for him. This scene was perfect. He delivered perfectly on this scene. Can't act, head ass. I wouldn't say he can't act. But if this was where they were going for, the way he acted this scene sort of makes everything worth it. Because he seemed as somebody who's dealing with a bit of a mental health issue. He didn't really know how to, express, where he was coming from. He's kind of stuttering. I know it fucked. He seemed a little bit like a head case. But this is my problem. This is my problem with mental health in this tonight's episode. My problem is, if you crazy, then you fucking crazy. But you can't be crazy and sane whenever you want to be. I can't roll with that. Let your psychiatrist figure out what's wrong with you. But me personally, You can't go off on no, I'm crazy, I was in a bad place, I don't know, and then try to come. Because if you crazy then, why ain't you crazy now? If you didn't know how to talk to me then, why do you got common sense to come talk to me now? Like that. See, that shit don't add up to me. Maybe it should add up to y'all. It don't add up to me. I think he suffers from depression, anxiety. That's cool. I mean, okay, you suffer from depression. People suffer from depression. I get that. But so what? The depression is over? So you can't call me and be like, hey, I'm about to go out of town for a little bit. You know, I'm kind of depressed. People have episodic depression. Great. I'm okay with that. I understand people have certain levels of depression. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why is your depression not affecting you right now to come talk to me about this shit? But you couldn't talk to me a month ago. Whatever the answer to that question is, you bottle that shit up and hand it back to them. That's how I look at that shit. I suffer through depression, you know. Sometimes I can't think straight, you know. I just can't talk to people sometimes. I'm a little crazy. Okay, cool. You was crazy then. Somehow you're not crazy now. You know, somehow you've got something together to where you can come and talk now. Either way, you're gonna have to bottle that shit up and take it with you. Well, we don't know because we only got 30 minutes. Facts. I mean, I was looking for more of an in-depth explanation. Something, you know, a lot of people thought he was in jail. A lot of people thought maybe he had a relationship with another woman. We were kind of looking for something like that. We didn't really get that. It seems like he may have had a mental health issue. And I'm okay with exploring that. I would like to explore the mental health issue more and see how that's affecting him. But at the same time, me personally, don't play crazy with me. I don't really do crazy. We all crazy. We all get depressed. I mean, come on, dude. You couldn't call me, but you can go pick up fucking flowers. Think about that. You couldn't call me, but you can go to Houston from LA. That's a plane ticket. So you can buy a plane ticket to go to Houston, but you couldn't call me. You could come back from Houston and get a ride to the house, holla at Nathan, let Nathan know you coming back, but you couldn't hit me up. You can go pick up some flowers and bring them over to me, but you couldn't call me and tell me what was happening back when I was calling you. My point in saying all of this, and I'm speaking for Issa as I say this, my point in saying all of this is the decision-making process is too conflicting. That if I'm Issa, I'm out. Because I don't know what's crazy and what's sane. I'm out. It's too inconsistent. It's levels 2 depression, guys. I'm not saying I understand that. I understand that. I get people be depressed, you know. We all got depression. But nigga, you use that phone though. That's my point. So if I'm Issa, you depressed as a motherfucker, but you got online and got a ticket with on American Airlines, I presume. Okay? You got on that phone and you went home. You came back. You did a lot of fucking shit in that time of depression. Why wasn't one of those things hitting me up in a text message, a phone call, or something? You even, look, remember, he even spoke to the Lyft people who called him about that fight he had. He even spoke to them. Remember? They called him and they were like, yeah, we spoke to him early today. Okay, so you wasn't too depressed to speak to the Lyft people, but you couldn't speak to me. Y'all see what I'm saying here? Y'all see what I'm saying? Me being Issa, that's just, I'm just putting myself in Issa's shoes as we work through this ideology in a practical and pragmatic way. He just showed up. Yes. For those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom. Follow the Black Guru if you don't already, and keep those hearts flying. Remember to visit shopguruhats.com. Follow the Black Guru on Instagram, the Black Guru on Instagram. Follow the Black Guru on YouTube, the Black Guru on YouTube. It's such a taboo subject in the black community, though. I think that event triggered something. I don't think it's taboo. We'll talk about that. Let's get through this. I don't think it's taboo in the black community. So essentially, you know, great conversation, though. I still loved all of this. This was great. I liked the way he acted it. I like Issa's response. But Issa comes into the house as she's contemplating. I'm drawing into the camera because I want to see how she synthesizes all the information that probably just that she just received. So I wanted to see how she synthesized all of that. And she stands there for a minute, then she goes over to her crate of records, which makes me want to go buy some records. Just seeing her with a crate of records made me want to go buy records for some reason. Then she pulled out that Twister, Adrenaline Rush, and I love Adrenaline Rush. I was like, I hope she plays that Adrenaline Rush. Like my favorite album. So I hope she was going to bang that, but she didn't. But she got a nice little collection going. So I might have to go buy me a record player. Because she made this shit look real fucking cool. She made it look real cool to have a record player. So she pulls out her little record player and starts getting her house in order. And this was a spot on metaphor. Shout out to Regina King again. And the writers, and shout out to everybody. This was the perfect way to end this season. This is what I mean by a character arc. We never got this in the first 2 seasons. We finally had a great character arc for Issa, in which she started off on someone else's couch and ends the episode getting her house in order. And it's one of those metaphors that it dawned on all of us at the same time. We all knew what that meant at the same time. Her getting her house together, putting things up, finally getting order in what's going on in her life. Finally getting a grasp on what's going on. And we all got that at the same time. That was perfect. That was a great character arc for Issa. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Magnificent. It really was. It really was. I don't have anything but positive things to say about this season of Insecure. Other than it should have been longer because we're getting cheated out of the character explorations of some of these other characters. We're getting absolutely cheated. So she's on the couch with the remote sipping her wine. And she finally has a level of peace and a peace of mind that she didn't have before. This was a great episode of Insecure. Absolutely great. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. There's a lot of seeds that were planted that'll blossom in season 4. I mean, it was great. It was great. And a lot of people used to tell me, oh, Black Guru, that's a girl show. Insecure is a girl show. And it is. It is. I'm not going to lie. It is a girl show, you know, for the most part. But there's some slice of life stuff that they're doing on this show that is not being done anywhere in all of a television or film. They've got characters on this show that walk right out of your neighborhood right onto the screen. You didn't talk about the music. The music was great. What I don't like is this album, or the album that she actually picked to play, because I wanted her to play that Twister. When I seen that Twister Adrenaline Rush, I wanted her to play that. She had that, some Ice Cube, and then she played some other shit I ain't never heard of before. The music was good on tonight. It wasn't anything I would listen to like the Twister was, but it was some good stuff on tonight. It's always good. The music was good. Kelly needs a fucking Emmy for this shit. Come on with these Emmys. Best supporting actor in a fucking comedy, please. But we don't get the character exploration. We don't get the character exploration with her. Unfortunately, we don't get it from Tiffany. It was Mac Miller. I'm unfamiliar with Mac Miller. Shout out to Mac Miller. It seems like modern young social show from what I've heard. I loved it. It was a remake from Last Dragon that used to be my favorite movie. Yeah, well, the song that ended, I didn't know. I didn't recognize the song, so it didn't really do nothing for me. I'm gonna be honest. It didn't really do nothing for me. If y'all like it, cool. My heart was set on Adrenaline Rush. Once I seen the album cover for Adrenaline Rush from Twister, that's what I wanted to hear. So anything other than that was a disappointment for me. And I know a lot of y'all may have never heard that album before. That's like a street album. That's like you got to know somebody who knows somebody who was up on that Adrenaline Rush from Twister. You got to know a nigga to know something about that. So yeah, for those who do not know, I am the Black Guru. What I offer is sage wisdom.